G'day fellas, welcome back to TF Custom Shaving Brushes Workshop. How are we, mate? How are we all? Alright? Good? Bit nippy up here again tonight, so I've got the long pants on again, put the smock on. I think I've got everything set up here ready to go though, so we're all good. No big deal, Brett. If you need to duck off, mate, you just duck off and do your thing, and I'm sure you'll drop in when you are able to. So all good there, mate, no problems at all. Razor, I've seen your posts in P&C, mate. Well done. Glad you like them, mate. They're pretty stunning, eh? Glad you got them, mate. Have you had a chance to try any of them yet? Any of the brushes? Grey Dog, good morning, mate. How are you? Welcome back. I run out a bit of time actually today. I've been sort of chasing my tail today. My youngest son that's in the Australian Navy sort of surprise visited us. He turned up at the airport late yesterday afternoon, and so I had to duck into the airport and go and pick him up. So he's been with me all day today, so we've been sort of looking after the pups and yeah, just spending a bit of time together. So I left coming out here to clean up until last minute, so I thought, oh geez, I better get out here and get it going or I'm going to be right behind the 8 ball. So anyway, I managed to get it cleaned up enough and that I can go. The lathe needs a bit of a further clean, but that's all right. Excuse me, she's going to get dirty and dusty again tonight anyway with the wooden handle. But yeah, it was good to catch up. So he's here with us until next Saturday, and then he goes away again, so back to Sydney. So yeah, it was good to see him. Yeah, no, that's all good, Razor, mate. In your time, mate, when you're ready. I'm sure you'll enjoy them though, and I'm sure you'll feed back. Yeah, so look, let's get on with it, lads. You know, we spend a bit of time here chatting, which is good, but listen, what I've done is I've actually picked up a couple of pieces of, this is a piece of wood that I bought a long time ago, several years ago actually, just a small slab that had been pre-cut, pre-dressed, and I'm pretty sure the timber is Tasmanian Myrtle, but the nice thing about this is it's got some nice colour in it, but it's also got a lot of birdseye in it as well, which will make it, you know, that little bit more unique. So I'll show you them in a tick. I'll swap camera views and I'll show you them. Now you'll see my technique is a little bit different for doing the wooden handles. I mean, you can do it various different ways, but the way I'm going to try and do it tonight is just a little bit different to the norm, where I can turn the whole brush in one hit, have it ready to take the knot, and then basically I'll just part off the bottom, and then I can sand the bottom by hand, or I can do a bit on the lathe here and then a little bit by hand, and then we're ready to go depending on the finish. Now obviously if I put a CA finish on it, then the CA finish is going to be done on the lathe, so you know we've got to take that into account. But if I'm going to finish it afterwards, which I'm thinking I might do with this one actually, I'm thinking I might not put a CA finish on it. I'm thinking I might spray it with a clear acrylic lacquer after it's been parted off and sanded and finished. So what I'll probably end up doing is I might turn the handle in this stream. Excuse me. I might finish the handle in the stream, but without putting any finish on it, and without mounting the knot. And then what I'll do is I might, over the next day or so, I might actually apply the finish, the spray finish to it. I'll hang the handle up and spray finish it, and then we'll come back and we can finish it and then set the knot on it. That's the plan at this stage, but I mean anything can happen and anything can change. So, but like I said, there's several different ways where you can actually turn your handle when you're turning wooden ones. And it's just really whatever way works best for you is the way to go for, obviously. I mean, I can chuck and re-chuck and do all sort of different things like that. You can use friction chucks. I do have collet chuck little collet adapters as well that can go into the recess of the handle where we take it out for the knot. So that's another option that you can go with. But we'll see how we go. I mean, the main thing here is just get a lump of wood on there, and I'm going to turn it to a shape. And the other thing that I was thinking of doing with it as well is I might do a little bit of pyrography burning on this handle as well. Not a lot, but maybe a little bit. But I'll see how it all looks once I get the shape on it, and that'll then determine as to what I'm going to do with regards to pyrography, with regards to finish. So we'll just play it by ear as we go along. I don't have any set fast rules on how I'm going to turn this one or what shape I'm going to make it, so we're just going to get in and just turn a bit and we'll see how we go, yeah, it's good having him here, Reza. John, we've got John back in the room. Hi John, welcome back to TF Custom Shaving Brushes, mate. How you been the last couple of days? All right? Good, I hope. Loving the weather over there in Spain. We got Rami in the house as well there. Welcome back, Rami. How you doing, buddy? Anyway, let's. I'm just going to start getting on with this. I might just switch to camera 3 here for a tick, and you'll see this this myrtle that I'm talking about with the little bits of birdseye in it. So there's a piece there, so you can see it's got a fair bit of birdseye around it. It's a nice rich colour, a little bit of birdseye in there, but nice grain through it as well, there and there. So a lot of birdseye here. You can see the birdseye goes into the end grain as well, so this end's been sealed with wax so that we can't see too much there. But there's that one, and then I've got another one here just as a spare. I've got a whole chunk of this, but these are just 2 pieces that I cut off to have a play with tonight. So you can see again there's a fair bit of birdseye in through that, bit there again, a little bit there again, little bit of water stain in there, but that should come out as we turn the handle anyway. So what I do with these is basically I'll just start just finding the centres on these. They're relatively square, to be honest, but I do have a square finder here, a centre finder here that I typically use. And basically it's got 2 sides to it, so you've got a 90 degree there, and then you've got it's not 90 degrees, it's a lot less than 90 degrees. If your blank's really out of square, you can use this one. If it's fairly square, you can use this one here. But either way, it always finds the centre line through the material. So I typically use the out of square one, and I just bring it into wherever it meets, and then wherever that flat side is, just put a mark through the timber like that. And you can do it on every corner if you want, and then pick the centre of the 4 marks, and that way you're guaranteed to get in the centre every time, you know. So I'll do that with this one just to show you, because sometimes the marks are a little bit out, see? But if you do it like this, you'll always eventually get the centre. So that one there's pretty much centre. That was that one. And there's that one now, which is a little tiny bit out. So you know the centre's going to be in there. So what I do now is I just grab I've got a loaded punch, and I just put that on that centre mark, and then I just press it into the wood, and it only needs once, and it just puts a centre point hole in that blank there. And we'll do the same on this end, because I'm not actually putting this is a square block, so at this point in time I can't really put it in the chuck and get it to hold very securely. So by doing it this way, I can put it between centres, and I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to get it pretty much on centre for turning. Okay, so you can see there we've got a couple of lines through there now, and then there's the other one going in, and there's the other one. So that one's pretty much bang on. That's that one. That's that one. That's that one, and that's that one. So pretty much, again, right there is going to be centre. So I just punched that hole in there, and we can do the same with this one, but you know. And if you guys just keep yourselves entertained in there and chat to one another, obviously you can see the screen as well, and I'll keep coming back and checking and just seeing if there's any questions or that, so I can try and help you as much as I can. Grey Dog's also a wood turner, so he can probably advise you on certain things as well. So that was that one, that was that one, that was that one. I'm just going to go a bit heavier with that. Oh, dropped it, dropped it, dropped it. That was that one. It's all over the place, this one. And I think that's pretty much there. I might even just check that. So that's 50mm, so 25 is right there. And if we go that way, that should be 50mm as well. And 25 is right there. And we'll do the same here. So one light line there. One line there, one line there, and one line there. So that line, so the centre of that one is right there. Okay, so that's how we find our centre. There's a number of ways you can do that too, but that's I just use my centre finder, this one, and it can be used for a whole host of different things. So you've got hole sizes, you know, you've got different shapes, different hole sizes, you've got chisel angles for your turning tools and stuff like that. You've got a measuring stick here, just handy. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to actually put this between centres. So I've got a drive steb centre in here, and I've got a live steb, which you'll see when I bring it into the picture. I've got a live steb centre here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the wood and think, well, which way do I want this to be? How am I going to shape it? What end do I want to be the top? What end do I want to be the bottom? So just have a quick look in the chat. All good, John. Thanks for dropping in again, mate. Rami, it's made a lot more difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it. You could refinish the handle if you really wanted to. But it's pretty hard when the knot's in there. I mean, you can't do it on the lathe unless you take the knot out, or unless you, you know, if you're going to re-knot, then you can refinish the handle when you do the re-knot. But yeah, it's not. I mean, you can do it to a certain extent, but what you'd probably have to do would be to wrap up the. You need to wrap up the knot so that was protected, and you'd need to wrap it reasonably tight. And then depending on how you wanted to finish it, you might be able to just give it a couple of light dustings of clear acrylic, depending on what it is, whether it's an acrylic or a wooden handle or whatever. So you could do it that way. The only other way to do it would be to hand finish it, which could be done as well. So yeah, you know, it can be done, but it's not the easiest to do, and you won't get 100% finish on it because you're going to be doing it all by hand basically. Okay, so with these step centers, they're really good because they've got teeth, serrated teeth all the way around them, so that helps lighten the material. But the good thing about them is the centers are actually spring loaded as well, and I just find them really good. I mean, a lot of people like the step centers. So as you can see, we've got a square block here. Starting with the square block. And I'm just going to tighten that up so that the teeth actually bite into the block. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn the blank round. So I'll bring the tool rest in, probably lift it up a touch. Probably lift it up fairly high actually to start with. And I'm just going to square that up to the piece. Make sure we're clear of the tool rest with the block of wood. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start this up, and I'm going to take the RPMs up to about 1400 there. And I'm going to use a spindle roughing gouge just to take it to round. So with a spindle roughing gouge, we start with the rubbing the bevel, and then we bring the handle up slightly, and then we take a cut. And you can see the chips flying there. And then we can go the other way. So the idea with the roughing gouges is that you can hear that's still rough there, still not round. But the idea is that we want the timber to rub on that bevel. So the timber's rubbing on that bevel, and then what happens is I'll slowly lift the handle, the tail end of the handle up, and as I lift the tail end of the handle up, this edge then starts to get the cut. So we're just going to keep taking this until we get it round, and we don't have any bumpiness. We're nearly there now, we're getting there. So you'll see there, that's me rubbing the bevel, but there's no cut yet. And as I lift the handle up, you can see I'm starting to get little shavings. And you can be a little bit ambidextrous, so you can use both your right hand and left hand way, or cut both ways. It's still not round, but I'm just going to show you what we've got here. So you can see the flat. So we're nearly there, we're getting there. You can see the bird's eye in the timber. All right, so we'll keep going until we get it round. And if we take our time with this tool, we can actually, although it's called a rough and gouge, if we take our time with it and we use it as like a planing cut, we can actually get quite a nice finish on the timber from this tool, even though it's a roughing tool. And you can see the nice little, curly shavings we're getting off it. Still a little bit out of round yet, so we've still got a little bit to go, but you can see the finish on that is just lovely, straight off the tool. So we minimise sanding when we can get a good cut like that off the tool. We minimise the amount of sanding we have to do. I'm still getting streamers, Grey Dog, look. Still getting streamers, mate, little wooden ones. Yep, still a little bit to go yet. Not a lot. Actually, I might just touch this tool up again. So just give me 2 seconds. So there we go, we've got a nice fresh sharpened tool on the grinder there. I'll rub the bevel and I'll just bring the handle up slowly until we get a nice fine cut. And you see the little fine cuts there, fine shavings. We've still got a little bit to go. Nearly there. We'll have a look at that now. There's still a little bit there, I can feel it. But we are getting there, and we're getting a nice clean cut on the woods, so that's good. You'll see I was getting more slightly larger shavings there, just taking more of a cut that time, and it's a freshly sharpened tool, so it's cutting a lot better as well. I did start with it sharp too. So again, you can see nice shavings off it. There's a little bit, but that could be the, oh no, there's still a little bit there. I was going to say it could be the birdseye as well making that little noise. So we're pretty much round all the way now. We've just got that one little flat on that one side of the timber there. Okay. Let me chuck you over to 2 now for a little while. You might get to see the timber. You're not really going to get to see it too much better there, but there we go, that was a little bit better. And I think if we're not there, we're almost there. Yep, a little bit more. That's better. And again, some really nice shavings. Even though this timber is very, very dry, we're still getting the shaving because it's nice, fresh, sharpened tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little cut on here to put a tenon on it, so that I can actually, I'll probably put the tenon on this end, I think, and we'll use that as the top of the brush, and we'll make this the bottom of the brush because we've got more figure and bird's eye up here than what we have down the bottom. So rather than waste the nice part, we'll make this the spigot, and that can be then put in the chuck, and then we'll make this the top of the handle. Okay, let's see how the conversation's going, if there's any questions. At least with these shavings, they go straight to the floor. Well, they're everywhere, but I mean they go straight to the floor, whereas the acrylic shavings, they stick to everything because it gets static in it being plastic, so it gets a lot of static in it. And it wants to stick to everything, so you've got more cleaning up to do with them. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the tailstock in a little bit here, and I'm just going to mark on there a depth from my tenon. So we'll make the tenon there, and I'll use my bidan for that, and I'll just bring this back a touch and drop it down a touch. So unlike using the carbide tool, every time you change the wood turning tools, you've really got to readjust your tool rest to the right position, because they all require the tool rest to be set at a different height, and you've got to cut either on centre or above centre in most cases. You know, otherwise you won't get the right cut. Now I'll take you back up to that shot for that, and you'll see the streamers coming off this one now. So again, a nice sharp tool. It's more like the acrylic shavings, see? And that's very dry wood, by the way, like I said before. So I'm putting a little tenon on there. I should really check the size for my tenon. It's a fairly small chuck, the one that I'm going to be holding it with, so I'll just check that. So I can probably go at about 40 mil, and I think this blank was that's about 45 where it is, so I just need to go in a little bit further with my tenon. I'll probably go a little bit smaller again, just a touch. Now I'm going to put that in my shark jaws. I'm just hoping I've got it right for the shark jaws. It's been a while since I've done a timber one in these ones. Normally the acrylic I just put it in any old way, but with the timber you need a little bit more accuracy. Yeah, I've probably made that a little bit too long, that tenon, but that's all right. I can turn it round and then I can take a little bit more off it, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll do that now. And that's the good thing about having your centre holes as well, because you can normally put it straight back on centre again without too much fuss. So there we go. And what I'm going to do there now is I'll knock that out. So a little bit of farting around here because I didn't make that the right size. But that's all good, we can get around that easy. How's the volumes, guys? The volume's okay? Music maybe a little bit loud? How's that there now? So there we are. We've got a nice hold of that with the tenon now. Steve-O, how are you, buddy? Steve-O's a good mate of mine. So yeah, so there we go. So now what you've seen me do is you've seen me use the stem centers for that. To actually turn the blank to round. Then I've cut my tenon on there, used the chuck to then hold it again till I shortened the tenon. Now we've got a nice sized tenon in there and it's nice and snug in there. So now what I can do is I can decide what I'm going to do up here. So we're going to drill this obviously for the to take the knot. We'll set the loft and everything in that, and we'll do that now so we can get rid of the stem centers now. They're no longer required. I may need this one again down the track, but at the moment we don't need it. I'm going to work on the socket for the knot now. So I'll get rid of that and that out the way for now. And what I'll do is I'll set up, that's a 25mm Forstner. So I'm going to set that on 0. I'll drill the hole first anyway, start the hole. Turn the speed down to slower speed. think this fastener bit's going to need replaced shortly. It's getting fairly dull now. So I'll put that on 0. We'll bring it back in till we touch the end of the blank, like we normally do with the acrylics. And then we'll just go in. And I don't want the timber to get too hot, so I'll keep easing it out. And I can also put a bit of air in there. Yeah, it's very dull. I'm going to need another 25mm. It's burning its way through more than cutting its way through this one. I don't have another 25mm one either at the moment, so what I'll do is I'll take that out now, just to help this situation, and I'll bring my tool rest round here, and I'll open that hole up just a little bit, just so we've got less friction on the cutter, because I know I've got to take this out to about that was a 25mm and I'm putting a 26mm on it, so I know I've got to take it out to about 27 or thereabouts. So I'll speed that up. And I'll go in with my skew again. Whatever I take off this side gets taken off that side as well. So, you know, if I take off 1mm, I'm actually taking off 2mm. We'll take that out the way. Bring the cutter back up, slow the lathe right down, and we'll set it back on 0 again, so I've got my sizing for the depth of the socket. Speed the lathe up a little bit. And what I might also do is tighten up that chuck a little bit more, because it's sliding on the chuck. That'll do us. Take that off again. Let's lower that a touch. It was a little bit too high the last time. Speed it up. And that should be us on the bottom there. I never checked that for 27, did I? Yeah, it's probably a little bit undersized. It's it's about 26. I really need to go a little bit more with that. Get rid of the sharp edge, and we'll make sure we've got our depth. Check the loft. That's about 54. I'm going to take that down about another mil. So we'll put the, well, I can leave that one there. We'll set this on 0 again. Bring it up till we get to the end of the timber. Lock it in. And we'll start her up. We'll go to that view there. So that's on 15. I'm going to go 16 and a little bit for glue there. I can leave that and get rid of that now. We're finished with that. Okay, so now I just have to go in with the skew again, just to take it that last little bit in the bottom. So bring that back a bit, speed it up, and just go in and clean that out in the bottom. That's it. Check the knot again. Still rounded there, should be all right. Yeah, that's much better. You can tell just by feeling it. So we're at about just under 53 there now. So by the time I put the glue in there, we should finish up with a loft of you know, 53, 54, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's the socket done. Now I could turn this around and put it back on my other chuck, but what that means is, it means that, you know, the big chuck I use with the acrylic when I'm doing the acrylic handles, the resin handles. So I could do the same thing with this and turn that around and put it on those little pin jaws. But the pin jaws work in expansion mode, and the timber's never normally as strong in expansion mode as what it is in you know, clamping mode. And I don't like going in these too hard and causing them to spread apart, so you can crack the timber, burst the timber up. So that's why I like to do it this way and then part off the bottom and then finish the bottom separately. But like I said, it depends on what finish you're going to put on the handle as to which way you should go. So if it's a CA finish, we could probably put, actually just let me show you, and I'll show you the set that I have. So I've got a little collet set here. I think that's the right way, yep. So I've got a collet set here that you can see in that overhead shot, so I'll go to that one. So that's my little collet set. So I can actually get a collet and expand it in that hole. And that one would probably be enough to expand in that hole. And then I can reverse it, put that into my clamp, and then I can finish the handle that way. So it still lets me finish, you know, different ways. You can do different ways. There's different ways to turn the handle. I'm just showing you options, you know. So with that one there, you put that in there, and then basically you tighten this up. And that's got like a little dovetail section in the bottom. It's turning on me at the moment, but that's all right. And this is the wrong size for this hole anyway, so I can't really use this, but that expands up and it tightens in there. So again, it's just the same as the pin jaws, it's just expansion mode, that's all. And like I said, I don't like holding timber in expansion mode, so it's very seldom that I'll use these. Yeah, it's got a bit of a, it's a real timbery smell. It's I've heard people describe myrtle before as being a spicy smell. I'm hopeless with smells and trying to explain them and describe them, so I have problems with my shaving soaps. I can never explain them properly. I can never, I mean, I smell things, but I can never put it into words as to what I'm actually smelling, you know. So yeah, I get lost with all that. So let's continue on, and I'm just going to start putting a little bit of shape into this top end. So you can see, even although I'm using my skew as a scraper there, because it's fairly sharp, I'm actually getting nice little shavings off it, and I should be getting a reasonable cut as well. So if I go back to that shot, you'll see that's cutting nice and clean, and it's only because it's fairly sharp. I've sharpened the tools up. The skew traditionally is used in that fashion, where, you know, you rub the bevel and then you start to bring it in for the cut, and you can see I'm starting to get a cut there now. That's how the skew is used. It's normally used up that way. It is a hard tool to use, very hard tool. A lot of wood turners don't actually use skews. They're scared of them, but I use it predominantly most of the time when I'm doing my acrylic brushes as a scraper, and that's what I'm using it. That's how I'm using it here at the moment. It's more as a scraper than a skew, but I do use a skew as well as a skew. So so I'm just trying to think what shape we're going to put in this one now. I need to think about it a little bit. I'm thinking that I might go with that look where I have the little sharp bead up here, then a bit of a round here with another sharp bead, a double bead, a hollow, and then just round off the bottom slightly. And I think that should let us see the timber nicely. So again, I'm just going to go in with the skew as a scraper here. And we've got plenty of room to play with, because this is it's a 50mm blank. Well, actually it's about 45. So we've got plenty of timber to play with, and we've got a real meaty, thick socket on it as well. So, you know, you can see there we've got way too much meat here, so we're going to have to take that down and make it narrower. I like the bottoms of my handles to be bigger than the tops of the handles. I think they look more stable that way. The proportions look better, all that sort of stuff. But we'll just slowly shape it in as we work our way through the handle. Yeah, so you're in amongst all the wet shavers here, Steve-O. I know you do a bit of wet shaving yourself, mate. You've made a few brushes and a few razors and stuff. So yeah, these guys are all big into their wet shaving. Yeah, like I said, it smells kind of spicy. But like I said, I'm useless at describing smells and scents and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, what am I doing here? Shape's the thing I need to focus on here, because I'm still not sure what and I'm just going to do all this sort of freehandish. I don't have any set shape or pattern that I'm going to work to here. I'm just doing it all by look and feel, and then I'm going to go in again probably about there. And then this one here is going to get rounded over. So I might actually use a skew for that. I might readjust my tool rest. And I think actually I put these shavings down, but you can see, if I go back to that shot, you can see the type of shavings you get off the skew. They're really wispy little shavings, aye. But you normally get a really nice finish off the skew too. So now I'm just looking for a couple of tools here. That's the spindle gouge, but it's a bit small for what I want. I'm not going to use that one because that's the one we've been using, and it's a little bit, probably a little bit blunt. That one will do me. So I'm on a spindle gouge here now. I don't think the grind's very good on this one. I was playing around with the grinds on my tools some time ago, and I think this one's one that I've done reground. And put like a secondary grind on it, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all, to be honest. So you'll see I've brought that down smaller in diameter. And I'll bring these rings further down as well as I work my way through, you know. I'm not liking this grind, but I'm just sort of making do with it at the moment. And we can change, I can change it later. I'm not going to go changing it now. It's a little bit rougher than what I would like it to be, but and that's all because I wanted to try a secondary bevel. So you can see I'm bringing that ring down a bit now. I don't want it to be as beefy as it is. And then I'll thin it out, and I'll do that with the skew as a scraper again, just in there. So I'm just going to go back in here. And I'm actually just going to use this to round it up a bit more. And I think we'll just give this a little touch up with the diamond card. Bring the tool rest in a bit because we're getting a little bit longer reach there now. And I'm going to go in with the okay, and I don't like that round in there, so it's looking a bit ordinary, so I'm going to try and just dicky that up a little bit more. It's looking more like an onion. Back in with a spindle gouge. G'day Harrell, how are you, buddy? That's a bit better. I'm not enjoying this spindle gouge at all with this secondary bevel on it, I'll tell you. think that'll do me there. And I'm just going to bring that edge there over a touch. And okay. So you can see I'm just working away at the shape. I've got no particular shape in mind. I'm just working away at the shape. I don't want that to be too thin. That's better. Yeah, I'm actually liking that. So what I'm going to try and do here now is I'm going to try and work out what sort of length I want this handle. So I'm going to sit the knot in just for a bit of a look to see how I'm going. And that doesn't look too bad. We need to go in thinner here though. And I'm thinking, if I bring the tool rest in, yeah, I'm thinking we're probably about there, I'd say, for length. Even that probably looks a little bit too long actually. Might just drop it back a couple of mil, maybe there. Oh, I should have took that knot out first, shouldn't I? Ah, she's under the bed, under the lathe. Ah, old man noises. All good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in with the parting tool. Actually, I might use my my other parting tool if I can find it. if I can find it. There we go. Thinking that should be pretty sharp. And I'll just define my bottom there. That'll do that. And let's have another look, eh? Okay, so much thinner in here. We may have to reduce that down a little bit yet as well. And then we'll round that bottom over. Well, actual fact, what I might do with the bottom is I might actually, instead of rounding it, I'll put that flat on the bottom. Slightly beveled in that way on the bottom, so I think that should look all right. So I'll go back with the spindle gouge again. So I don't want to take too much off the width, the bigger diameter, but I want to take it more into the bottom. Like that. And I think it's going to be a little dumpy, isn't it? And again, for wood that's really dry, that's a nice fine angel hair shaving. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's have a look at the knot on it. Take the tool rest out the way. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I reckon. Don't know if you're going to see much from the other camera there. I don't think you're going to... Needs to be a little bit more side on, I think, for that one. But you can see it in the top shot pretty clear, I think. So even if I zoom in on that a little bit, you sort of get to see the shape. And it's fairly clean off the tool, so it's not going to take a lot of sanding. And I think the shape What do you reckon of the shape, guys? I think it looks okay. All right, I better have another drink of my coffee before it goes stone cold on me. You can probably hear it going down my throat with this bloody microphone right here. It's lukewarm. Lukewarm. It's almost cold again. That music seems to have dropped off a little bit again. I wished I could equalise those tracks out so that they all played at the same level, you know. Or it could have been, it's just new song coming in, is it? Oh, good. Yeah, I've not done, I mean, I did do a couple of, back in my earlier days, Harrell, I did do some timber handles, and now I do a mix of timber and resin hybrids, but it's not very often I do the timber ones. There's a number of reasons for it. It's not that I don't like doing them, because I do enjoy doing them, but it's more for making sure that they are absolutely watertight. I mean, I know some timbers are better than others, you know, at repelling water, not taking water on. This one's probably not a, you know, Myrtle's probably not an ideal one for using as a shaving brush, but providing it's sealed properly, typically they're pretty good. Now you can put a CA finish, you can spray it, you can put all different types of finishes on there, and that will make it, you know, impervious to taking on water. But if it gets damaged or it gets bumped, or, you know, you get a ding in it and it cracks the surface, then obviously it's going to let water in. When you use a CA finish, the good thing about the CA finish is that the CA finish will soak into the grain, especially if you use a thin CA. It will soak into the grain, and then once that dries, it's actually dried into the grain. So even if you bump the finish, the chances are that water still won't get in with CA, because it's actually soaked into the grain, and that makes it water resistant. So CA is probably the best finish for them. Like I say, purely and simply for the fact that it does allow the CA to soak in. Anyway, I'm relatively happy with that. I'm kind of thinking that I might still go with a CA finish. But I want to change this bit here a little bit. I want to lighten that up a little bit. I think that's a little bit too heavy there. So I'm going to go in a little bit deeper and probably just take this, if I go back to camera 3, I want to reduce that ring a little bit, and I want to take this in a little bit deeper. So I'm just going to go in with the skew for that again. And I might just hit that with the diamond card again, just to make sure that it's a fairly keen edge to start with. And I'm going to come back a little bit here and go in more that way. And then I'm going to take that V out. I'm just getting myself in an awkward position here for this one. So I've taken that down a little bit now, but I still want to go in a little bit more here. Got that now, and then I'm just going to take the sharp edge off of that. I'll have a look at that and see what I think. Yeah, still want to go in a bit there. That's better. That's better. I'm happier with that. Now, I'm just thinking whether I put a couple of rings, just a couple of little V grooves in the bottom of that handle there. Let me just zoom that out a little bit again. Probably about there. That'll come down with sanding. Actually, no, I'm not going to put grooves in it because it will detract from the timber. It's a lovely timber. So I'm just going to go in a little bit more with the pattern tool here now. So I'll lower the tool rest. And I'll just bring it back to about there. And I think I'll have one more look at it, and then I think I'll yeah, I'm liking that. I'm happy with that. We'll sand that now, and then we'll work out what we're going to do with the finish, eh? Okay. So we'll slow the lathe down, not too fast for sanding. And I'm going to keep those details as sharp as I can at this stage, but we will round them off. We will take the sharp edge off them once we're happy that we've got the finish where we want it. I do need to spend a little bit of time on this one because this is not quite as round as I would like it. It's not too far out, but it's not quite as round as I would like it. Or as flat as I would like it, I should say. It's getting there. A little bit of soft foam here will help get the shape back to where I want it easier. It lets you squeeze into the details. And this is just the first initial grit, so but it won't allow me to, so it'll allow me to squeeze into that detail there. And there. Okay, so I'll just give that a little rub here and there by hand, like we do with the acrylics, the resin ones. Some of that birdseye is going to take a little bit of filling too, with depending on what finish we put on there. I'm actually thinking I might go with CI because it's a nice piece of timber actually. It should be nice once it's coated. How long have we been going? An hour and a half. I think what I might do, guys, is we'll go for 2 hours and then I think we'll shut the shed door down, and if we get a coat of sea on it, great. If we don't, then we'll come back and do that in another stream, I think. What do you reckon? Because there's still a bit of sanding to do to it yet. Just checking the chat, boys. Oh, Mason says hi. How are you, Mason? Look, we'll just for you, Mason, we'll change the camera and we'll go to this one and I'll give you a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching TF Custom Shaving Brushes, eh? Thanks, mate. And when are we going to see you guys down at the flying field, eh? Good on ya. That's one of Steve-O's young fellas, young Mason. Okay, that's that one done. So just another bit of sanding here, just with the next grit up. So we're on 240 grit now, and I'm quite happy with the finish I got off the tool. Actually, it wasn't too bad at all. I'll just give this a little rub by hand now as well, different directions. Just to make sure we've got no sanding lines left in there. Fold it in half, firm it up a bit to get into some of the detailed areas. Nice having all the details in it, but that's where you add in all the extra work. Every time you put in another detail, you just give yourself more sanding, because it goes all the way through, it follows you all the way through. You've got the initial sanding like this, and then once you apply the CA, then you've got to sand the CA as well. So you're basically going through that whole process 2 or 3 times really to get a finished item from it. But when you get the CA finish right and it's sanded properly and you've got it right, geez, I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful finish. But it does take a lot of practice and a lot of time to get it right, and it's easier doing pens than doing shaving brushes, because pens, you've got normally a long sort of surface to work with not a lot of detail, because pens they're not big in size, they're fairly small in diameter, so and they generally don't have a lot of shape or details in them, so they can be CA finished really nice and easy and nice and quickly. But when you come to shaving brushes like these, it's a whole different ball game altogether, because you've got to try and make sure you get the CA into the details as well as the nice finish, and it makes it much harder.
So that was the second grit, that was 240, this is 320. I need to just check out a little spot here. It's like I've got a little ring there. I don't know if it's from sanding or if it's a small tool mark. Might get my bit of foam in there, I think. It's not too bad. I thought it was a bit rough on the end of the handle, but it's actually the grain in the timber. There's a few like lines and stuff that look like cracks, but they're not. It's actually the grain of the timber. I'll need to hit this with the air hose as well when I'm finished sort of sanding, because those little bird's eyes in it are storing a little bit of sawdust in there, so we'll blow them out before we do anything with regards to finishing as well. Just because once you put that CA over, there ain't no way of getting it out again. So we're getting a fairly neat finish on it now, so the actual timber's starting to polish up, and we're only, like I said, we're only on 320 so far. We'll take it up to 600, and then I think we'll see if 600 is going to be enough. Because I'm not going to wet sand this. You home again now, Ryan? I thought I might have heard you coming in. How was the driving range? Okay, that'll do that one. We'll go to 400 now. I will hit this with the methylated spirits though, and that's when it will darken the wood and you'll get to see what it's going to look like with a CA finish on it. We're now on 42 so far, now 45, so I'm going to go for another 15 minutes and then we'll end the stream and we'll come back to this one. I might even do a sneaky stream between, well actually I've still got to do Thursday night, so I can do this one on Thursday night. We can finish it in the stream, that way you'll get to see it fully finished with a knot set and a coin in the bottom and a nice finish on it, hopefully, if I don't stuff it up. It's nice to see you guys all getting on well in the chat there. Now there's one thing I haven't shown you in the stream yet. Let me go and grab it if I can grab it. I'll show you something else. I started this a long time ago and I haven't done any more on it. But I do need to get back on it at some stage. Let me go to the main shot. Meet my friend here. So this is a carving that I started some time ago. It's a big piece of silky oak, and I started carving it. I'd never done carving before, so I wanted to take up carving. So I had a couple of little projects that I'd done first, and then I started on this one. And I haven't actually done any more to it. So you can see she's got a ponytail at the back here, with a band in her hair here. And I've started on the face, just a young girl. Started on the face, but I haven't quite finished it yet, and there's still a fair bit of work to do to it, but yeah, that was my first proper carving that I'd tried to do. So
Like I said, I haven't gone back to it in a while though. And you think this is slow, that's even slower. So yeah, it takes a long time. Okay, 600 grit, and hopefully that should be the final one, I think. I don't think I'll need to hit it with anything else. I think 600 is going to be more than enough for the wood. And then I'll just knock all those sharp edges off before we try and that's softened that one up. That's that one softened. Just soften that one. Okay, we'll just give this a little bit of a rub up by hand now. And when I wet this with the methylated spirits, that'll give me an idea what it's going to look like, and it will also let me see if there's any sanding areas that are going to show up. So it gives me an opportunity to fix them before I go straight to finish, you know. So far so good, it's looking pretty good. Just go in here a little bit and just try and rub it in different directions. It's a fairly gnarly piece of wood anyway, so I mean the grain's running in all different directions, so and I might put you back to that shot, or we can even try that one for a change. Okay, now I'll give that a good blow out. So excuse the noise, gentlemen. It actually feels like a bit of plastic now. So I'll get a little bit of methylated spirits. Yeah, there'll be a coin put in the bottom of this one, Harrell. So this is when you'll see it pop. And all I'm really using this for is really to get the sawdust out of the grind and out of the details as well. So I'm trying to force the wet
into the details as well as the main part of the handle. So if I can get that nice and wet and then stop the lathe and let you have a look, that's what we're going to see. Let me just go to the top shot and I'll wet that up again. Just to let you see what it's going to look like when it's got a CA finish on it. So you can see that bird's eye pop right out the timber there, and you can see the colour and the figure that's in the piece of wood now. So I mean, she's going to make a stunning brush, but there'll be a fair bit of work in it yet. As you can see there's a nice close-up, but it's letting you see the colour and the grain in there. We just spin that slowly again. The towel's starting to dry out now, but I'll let you see the grain in there, the colour, the bird's eye. She's going to be a little stunner, that's for sure. And then when we see the knot in it, there she be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dry this off a little bit, and I might try and get maybe a couple of coats of CA on it, and then I'm going to close the stream down, and we'll finish this one off on Thursday. Okay, how does that sound, fellas? All good with that? I hope so. So what I'll do is I'll turn this on and just let it spin dry. So there we go. Throw that in the bin. Now I'll need to go to the fridge and get my super glue, and I will be using the activator as well. I'm just going to have that spinning fairly slowly, but I'll get my paper towel ready. Have you started the new job yet, Harrell? Are you in the new job yet, or still waiting to start? So I just want to check that it's fully dry. I might give it another quick blow just to make sure that there's nothing in the bird's eye. And I'm only just small amounts to start with, very small amount. And I'll just get that off my bed there before it sets. Oh, okay. And the little detailed areas are the hardest ones to get, because and you don't want to put too much in there. So I'm slowly just working my way up the handle. Slowly but surely. And it really is if you want to do it right, it really is a time-consuming part of the finish, but it's so worth it when you get it right. And I've just got another lump of CA in there. And I think the timber's soaking it up fairly well too. I've got to get a little bit more in that recess there. So we'll go again there. See, I drizzled there. That's all right, we got it. And now I'll just do the top. So I've messed up this paper towel, but we'll get there. So you'll actually see that now if we go back to camera 2. And I'll stop that there. So it's not finished. I mean, we've got to put heaps of coats on this yet, but that's letting you see the colour now, and how the colour and the grain is starting to pop out. And then once we get plenty of coats on there, and we give it a good sand, then I'll seal up the inside of the socket here where the knot's going to go, so that's all water sealed and, you know, impervious to water absorption as well. And then we can finalise that by setting the knot in, and then we'll still have to work the bottom. But I'm thinking I'll do with the bottom, obviously I'll get this back in the chuck like how we done the acrylic ones, and then we can set the coin in the bottom, and then we can sand it all. Well, sand it all first, drill the hole for the coin, sand it all, then we can finish it, seal it all underneath the coin as well, and then basically set the coin in. And then we can set the knot, and this one will be done. But it's got a lot of work to go on yet with regards to CA finish. That's an initial coat to soak into the timber and seal the timber up, and then now every coat we apply is really finishing coats. Okay. Oh, medicals are always fun, eh? Okay, so I'll get another piece of towel and I'll just slowly keep applying coats. But like I said, I'm going to cut the stream off at, well, we're nearly there now actually. We're nearly 2 hours. So I don't want to go too much longer. Maybe just get another coat on it just so we can start seeing a little bit more shine on it, and then I think we'll call it a night, and we'll come back to this one on Thursday night. So there we go. I might spin it up a little bit faster. So with each subsequent coat now on there, it will just get shinier and shinier. You seen me doing that hybrid one the other night, and you can already see we're starting to get a nice shine on that lower section there just with the second coat. And every subsequent one now just gives it more and more as a side. So it's the little detailed areas that are the trickiest parts. So it's just slowly, because if you get too many rough areas, then it's a nightmare to sand it. So yeah. Thanks for that, Razor. Razor's just pointed out, subscribe, shares, likes, all that stuff. I'm never a big pushy one on that sort of stuff, but I believe most of the guys that are in here are already subscribed to the channel anyway, because they're in here most streams anyway. But anybody sitting in the background, I'd appreciate a like. Just give that a little bit of a hit. Now we'll just drop a little bit on the top again. So I do that slightly differently. Just find a clean piece of paper here and just rub that on, making sure we don't get it anywhere where we don't want it to be. So yeah, it's just starting to take shape there now, guys. You can see that. I'll just give it another little touch with the activator just to start the process off. The finish is actually starting to take shape very nicely now. But like I said, a lot of the birdseye and some of the birdseye that goes down with the grind, they're going to still take a fair bit yet, because they're nowhere near filled yet, especially the slightly bigger ones. Just then, if I change it back to camera 3, so you can see those little, they're not actually, well they look like cracks, but it's actually where the bird's eyes have been, and it's just formed a little, crevicey crack there. So all them I've got to make sure that they're all filled. I mean, I'm leaving that how it is. I'm not artificially filling it or anything like that. I'm leaving it how it is. It's the natural look of the timber, but I just want to try and get the cracks filled so that it's nice and smooth, and we don't have cracks actually in the handle. It'll be smoothly finished. The cracks should be filled with a CA, but like I said, it's a slow process of just making sure we continue to put more and more CA on until they're filled, and then once we get that, we can then lightly sand it back, we can put the finish on it. Yeah, I noticed that the other night, Razor, we had 58 subscribers, so we're 2 away from 60. I think when I hit 100, I'll maybe do a giveaway brush. We'll maybe make a brush in the string, and it will be a giveaway. So that's the plan, but we need to get to 100 first. So I'll go until I get the CA up to the top at this time, and then I think we'll call that a night. I'm starting to get a little bit of a ripple there, right on that ring there, but that's all right. We'll get that okay. We're still going to flood it with more coats yet, so there's a little bit of a ring there as well, but that's, again, we should be able to get that. So I'll go in with a soft bit of tile and that detail there. And then we'll go into this one. And a little bit more there. Okay, so it's getting there, guys. You can see there's a few little ridges in the finish there in that shot, but it's nothing too drastic. At least we're getting a nice good thick coat. Some of those smaller bird's eyes are actually starting to fill up now. It's just the larger ones are going to take a little bit more time, like these ones and these ones here and up here. But it's starting to get there. The colour's really popping out the myrtle now. And the figure and chatoyance in that is absolutely unbelievable. You'll see it more once we get the brush up the right way, and you'll get a better look at it. But yeah, it's looking not too bad. You can see some of the chatoyance there, I think, in that shot, and obviously the bird's eye in there. Some nice grain in it. So yeah, it should make a really nice little handle actually. Just check that that's dry, it should be. So I'd activate on it. I'll sit the knot in it and you can have a look and see what it looks like with the knot in it now. Now that the timber's toned down, it'll actually look quite nice. T-Man, how are you, buddy? You've just come in at the end, mate. You've just come in at the end. We're nearly finished. We'll be coming back on Thursday night to finish the rest of the, well, put the rest of the finish on the handle, and then we'll do a little bit more on the bottom to put the maker's mark in it. We'll set that in place. We'll obviously have to sand all the finish back once we get enough finish on it. So I might even put the rest of the finish on it offline, but I won't finish this one. I won't finish the sanding on this one like I done on the previous stream. What I'll do is I'll maybe build the CA up on this one, and then I'll leave it, and then when we come back on Thursday to the Thursday night stream, then we'll go through the sanding process and setting the coin in the bottom, setting the knot, and we can finish the handle on Thursday. That'll give us a stream for Thursday. How does that sound, fellas? All right, all good with that? But yeah, I think it's going to look quite nice with the little 26mm 2-band finest in there. It's going to look very a la natural. The shape's quite nice. I don't mind the shape. The shape looks quite in keeping for the timber brush. You can see there's a fair bit. I'll go on to the other camera shot, the head down shot. That little picture-in-picture sort of gets in the way in that shot there a little bit. I'll maybe have to look at that. Obviously the cracks will fill as we go on with the CA finish, and then when we sand it back we'll get rid of all those little ridges and it'll just be flat like glass. So what do you reckon, Grey Dog? How's that, mate? We've got our first proper timber brush in the stream at your request. T-Man, sorry you've come in at the end, mate, but oh, you've been watching from the start. Oh, good stuff, excellent, mate. I wasn't sure if you were new in and you just dropped in, mate. Oh, that's good. You've been watching from the start. No problems. Are you in Australia, T-Man, or where are you from, mate?
watching this channel, cooking, drinking, and P&C, so you're off P&C. Cool, excellent, mate. Well, like I said, we'll be back on Thursday night with the second part of this stream. So I'm going to close the shed door down for tonight on this one, and we'll come back on Thursday, finish the rest. So again, guys, I'm just putting a little bit of stuff away here while I'm talking to you. So again, guys, much appreciated for having you in the stream. Thanks again. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, guys. Like I said, something a little bit different. I'm glad Grey Dog brought that up, and to do a little timber one, something different. I will try and do a pen or something at some stage as well. I'll have to do a little bit of preparation for that one because it's a timely process from start to finish, and gluing tubes in and letting them set and all that sort of thing. So I'll do so much when I do the pen. I'll do so much, and then we'll do the rest in the stream. So you'll see most of the turning. It will just be the blanks I'll have to make up offline, just to save a bit of time in the stream, because we're not going to wait on glue going off. So we'll do that, and yeah, we'll get it done. We'll make a pen, and we'll try and make quite a nice one, and but that'll be for another future stream. Ryan's just come in. Come round, Ryan. Here's my son. Over on that side. There he is. There's Ryan. Fellas. Oh, you need to come over this way a bit more. So there's my son, my youngest son, Ryan. He's in the Navy down in Sydney. So he's here till Saturday. Saturday morning, then he goes back to Sydney, providing he's allowed back in, obviously. But anyway, guys, look. Thanks again. You're all more than welcome. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe below. Click the little bell, and that'll let you get reminders for any up and coming streams. And also, if I post a video up, you'll get notified of that. But let me get my end screen set up here now, guys, and we'll end it there. And I'll see you all on Thursday, hopefully, eh? Okay. Good stuff. Thanks, fellas. Cheers for now. Cheers. Oh, that's the wrong one.